Okay, hey, so today we are going to be talking about something that I just kind of find interesting. Well, not interesting. It's kind of more of a serious topic, I guess, but I honestly didn't feel ready to just get dressed for a video, so I'm just gonna talk over a video I already pre-recorded. Basically, today's topic is specifically about shipping, and specifically about when we see two characters that hate each other and who are usually the same sex, and how a bunch of people automatically ship them. Me personally, whenever, if there's tension and then, they come around and then they're not enemies anymore, by the end of it, I'm like, okay, I can see it. Some of them I just can't see it at all if they're literally causing each other bodily harm. I'm like, But today we're kind of going to be talking about that and kind of the harmful effects of it. And if you don't see the harm in it, that's fine. This is just my perspective as someone who is a part of the queer community. I'm not a gay man, which is usually the people who are kind of affected by these stereotypes, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna kind of go over some that I'm like, So one of the major ones that were very popular and I knew about because I am a huge fan of Drara, okay? One of the biggest ships is Shazaya, and I absolutely despise that ship because they legitimately hate each other and are scared of each other, which leads to them trying to kill each other. So my brain is like, how do you equate that to attraction? But then at the same time, I have to think about the societal kind of expectations of men, for one, and then two, how they kind of expect gay men to interact with that as well. Because the societal expectation for men is usually don't express any actual feelings towards people. You have to either express anger or indifference. That's usually kind of what is expected of men, even in relationships. And I think that portrays, or what's the right word? I feel like that goes over into ships a lot and people don't even notice it. And that's kind of something that trips me out, is just the psychology of it all is very interesting. Because we talk about toxic masculinity a lot in society nowadays, but a lot of people don't talk about it when it comes to fandoms and how it interacts with shipping and stuff like that. If two characters literally hurt each other multiple times physically, emotionally, and they want the other person to fucking die, I don't think they should be together, and I don't understand why some people ship them. I guess some people just really love the enemies to lovers, but at the same time, you still need the lovers at the end to get that. It doesn't make sense to me how we equate blind hatred to affection at times, and I think that's kind of more of a it's kind of just more of a what the fuck society have you done to our kids, I guess, than blaming the people who are thinking these ways and having ships like that. Because it's not their fault. They see and they're like, oh, hey, this is attraction, because that's kind of how people have grown up to think. Because how many times do we see in media a man just hating his wife? So many times. How many times do we see freaking men being verbally abusive or so on and so forth in media and then just brushed off for it, and it's just thought of as normal? And then when you think of that and then think about how gay men are portrayed in the media, either they're hyper feminine or they're scoundrels who are dirty and you know, like, most of the time it is either one side where they're feminine and like girly and or they are lowlifes who are creepy and you know, and there's not really just the average normal gay person on TV. Well, I feel like there's more now, but back when like Durara and like when I saw this a lot in fandoms where it's like these two characters despise each other. Like when that was happening and was rampant, that was kind of just the air in the world with these situations. And like, I don't even know if I am accurately portraying my thoughts right now, because it is kind of hard to talk about this without like having someone else to bounce this off of. And again, I am not a gay man. I'm a non-binary queer who's an artist who just sits alone, you know? But it's just very interesting that we equate men's hatred to their love as well. And I find that very interesting as well as very concerning, because how many of these people who ship these things think, oh, they're such a good couple, and they'll like read a bunch of fan fictions where it's like they completely change how they act with each other, and then something in their brain could be like, oh, if I get in a relationship with someone like this, it could be good for me too. It could turn out like this, you know. And I know that's kind of like pushing it. It's just, there will always be something in the back of your mind if you see it enough and read it enough and like ingest enough of it, you will start subconsciously believing it. It's literally like subliminals. Your brain will start associating those things with actual love. That's why I feel like so many people nowadays get into bad relationships and abusive relationships, especially freaking gay men and freaking queers and all sorts of people who don't have good representation on TV. It's another reason why I feel like good representation is so important, especially with how many young people are now realizing themselves so much sooner because they have the language for it. But then seeing how many things don't portray them properly, they're probably going to get confused. And I don't mean confused as in like they don't know who they are. I mean confused into what they deserve. Because if we portray all these negative things as normal, then they're going to believe that they deserve basically the bottom of the barrel. And that's another reason why I don't know. I know it's fiction, okay? People can ship who they want. It's a free world, whatever, you know? And for the most part, it doesn't affect people. It doesn't, but in my brain, it's still kind of weird because it does kind of perpetuate this world where men, because I mainly see it with men, or men who like men, like those ships, like, what is it? Like just guys together, gay ships, you know. I don't know why fucking gay escaped my head. That's like my main vocabulary word. That's so fucking weird. It could be because it's 6 a.m. and I haven't slept. Anyways. But yeah, freaking, it's just strange to me because everyone can admit that media does affect real life and real life affects media. But then when you come to ships and talk about all of that, then they're like, no, people can like what they like, whatever. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I can't help but worry for these people who like these really toxic ships. Like, I genuinely worry about people who like hella toxic ships. Like, whenever I see someone who likes Endeavor, I'm like, what? Like, just him as a character, I'm like, he's an interesting character himself, you know? But if you like him as a character and as a person, it's a little strange. You know, you can like the depth and dynamic of the character as a concept, you know, and then I'm like, yeah, freaking that makes sense. But whenever I see people simping after, like, toxic people too, it's always like, this is a little weird. And then oftentimes I see them simping after toxic people in real life too, because oftentimes fictional taste translates over to their real life taste. And then at the end of the day, I still wonder how many of these people who ship these ships where the two people actually hate each other end up in really unhappy relationships. And it just worries me. And I know this might just be me thinking too much into it. Probably is. Anyways, that's it for today. Goodbye. If you want me to talk more about this, or if you're like, bitch, you're fucking crazy, I get it. Just leave your thoughts down below. This was my thoughts about it.